It is yet another defeat, this time in the Champions League. Second defeat in a row. And it's been a while, I think, since Liverpool lost 2 games in a row like this, although it's in 2 different competitions. Um, so it ended 1-0, Galatasaray 1, Liverpool 0. And yet again, the performance wasn't great. It wasn't good. When I compare the first half to the second half, I think this is one of the few times that Liverpool have played a game where the second half was actually a little worse than the first half. But it was quite close as to which one was better. I think the first half was just a little bit better than the second half, because in the first half, I remember we created a clear-cut chance, a very big chance that we could have put away, but we didn't, with Ekitike, who ran through on goal. He had Frimpong on his right that he could have laid the ball off to, but maybe he didn't see him. Maybe he didn't have the opportunity to. It wasn't as easy as I thought it was for him to lay the ball off to Frimpong. I'm not sure exactly why he couldn't do that, but he tried to round the goalkeeper, and the keeper's leg, I think, got the ball off his feet. So we lost that chance. But apart from that, I don't remember any other chance we created in the first half. And in the second half, I think we started well in the second half. We tried to pin them back, but we couldn't sustain it. It wasn't sustainable. I think after the first set of changes Arne Slot did, bringing in 3 players, I think it was Bradley, Salah, and Isak. I think after that change, we kind of lost momentum a bit. So it was really hard to get back into that groove again. And that was how the game went throughout. It wasn't a tidy game. It wasn't a nice game. And even though this was a better performance than what we did against Crystal Palace, it was still not good enough for us to be able to say we deserved something from this game. Maybe the fair result would have been a draw, because I don't think Galatasaray also played that well. But they did what was necessary to win. They fouled us, they tackled hard, they tried to get away with as much as they could. And I think the referee gave them a lot of leeway in doing that. Of course, they are playing at home, and they had the backing of the fans and all that, and that sometimes influences the referee's decisions in certain moments. But the thing is that the performance wasn't good, and it's becoming quite clear that it is not about getting at the back of individual players and trying to say this player is not good enough, this player is bad. I think it's the whole team. The whole team is not doing well. We are not playing well. It is the entire team. And I don't know exactly why that is the case, but it's not looking good. It hasn't been looking good even when we've won. And I think we've tried to brush that away because we've ended up winning the game. So when it's a win, it's very hard for you to keep picking out the negatives and the things that we need to improve on. So we've kind of taken the win and forgot about the performance and moved on. I think certainly for me, that has been the case, is that I take the win and forget about the performance and hope that the next game is going to be better. But I think we've lost something that we had last season, which was being able to stamp our feet within games, control it, take the sting out of it, keep the opponent at arm's length. Because today, again, we gave Galatasaray a lot of opportunities. They had a few opportunities to counter-attack on us. And if they were good enough, they would have put us away. I think Osimhen got about 2 or 3 such chances where he had a run on goal. It was just him and maybe one defender, and he couldn't put it away. So we didn't have any control in the game. That is one thing that I think is very worrying. No control at all. There was no point in the game where I thought that for maybe a 10 to 15 minute spell, Liverpool had total control of the game. Even when we were pinning them back, we were so wide open and susceptible to a counter attack. And that is not good enough. That is poor. That is poor. But what can we say? This is the group stages of the Champions League. I would take this performance and this result as long as at some point within the season the team peaks, just like PSG did last season. They weren't playing well during the group phase, just like we have been doing, but then they picked at the right time. So if this is this Liverpool team trying to gel and bedding new players, and that is why we are seeing these performances, then I'm okay with that. But it has to come together at some point in the season, and we don't have much time. So hopefully on Saturday against Chelsea, we can get a better performance as well, a better result, because it's going to be a long wait for another game from Liverpool, given that it's going to be the international break after that. So we need to finish this phase of the season well against Chelsea, and it is going to be difficult. I think this game against Galatasaray is a good dress rehearsal for going away to Chelsea, because it's going to be the same. It's going to be a very similar game. It's going to be a midfield battle. It's going to be cat and mouse play. The two coaches are going to try and stamp their feet in the game, but it's not going to be easy for any of these teams, Chelsea and Liverpool, to take absolute control. So it will come down to moments and who takes their chance when it comes. So that is my assessment of this game. It wasn't a good game. The performance wasn't also good. The penalty incident that brought about the goal we conceded, I think it's a penalty. It's a penalty. I'm a Liverpool fan, but there's nothing more you can say about this. If it happened outside of the penalty area, I would have expected a foul to be given to Galatasaray. So if the referee gives a penalty, I think you can't say much. You might say it's a bit harsh, I would agree, but for me it's a penalty, and there's nothing else to say about it. They put it away, and that is what they are supposed to do. So for me, the most important thing is the performance. The fact that the performance wasn't good is what makes me a bit worried, slightly worried. But as I said, if this means that we are going to peak at some point in the campaign and dominate games during the knockout phases, that is if we qualify, then I'm all for it. But we have to improve for sure. I was going to accept a draw for this game, but the fact that it's a loss means that there is much more weight on our next games in the group phase. So thank you for listening. If you like the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. There is also a new feature that is called hyping the video. So if you can hype the video, that will be very much appreciated. See you and